Hello, beautiful people. I am going to jump on here right now and show my face, and then I'm going to jump off. This sun hat cracks my shit up, um, but it really does work and is effective. I don't always wear it on my walk, but anyway, on the boat, but it got all messed up over here. Okay, so hello. Okay, so there's a lot to catch up on. I've decided I want to try and record this on my walk. I don't always do my best work like I've said before because I really have to write things out to stay organized. However, I'm challenging myself to do this, and let's see if I keep this recording. So today what I wanted to talk about is relating back to worth. Talking about worth, how to feel your worth, and life experience has shown me in these different ways, right? Like, oh, because I've worked on myself and built my worth, now I can explain this to you all. So, long story short, even those of you who have been listening to me for a long time or a while still don't know these parts about me because I don't talk about it in every episode, but basically, I'm not afraid to say that over the past 5 or 6 years, my journey after my 23 plus years in aesthetics, doing facials, skincare, customer service, all that sort of stuff, I'm evolving into my next stage of life, career-wise, job-wise. So I've gone and tried, I don't know, probably about maybe 3 or 4 different jobs, basically doing different things. Long story short, retail and restaurant work, and then some stuff with school district. So what made me talk about this today, and it's funny, through the school district and nutrition department. Okay, it's really loud. I kind of am like a spy. You would have thought I would be like an investigative journalist or something like that, or an inspector. I'd be really probably good at it at this point in life. So I go and I not only observe, I'm obviously working with different leads, different people. And with that being said, I could talk about so many different things. No, sure. With that being said, that's a whole nother thing that I could talk about in what I am observing and seeing, whether it's quality or sanitation or whatever it is. But what I want to talk about with the worst thing is, okay, so I'm also going to see from like what I used to make to what I do make, right, hourly. So I'm judging a lot of like based on all these things that I'm doing, including a lot of dishwashing, like, wow, right, what people are getting paid. And while the wages are kind of still going up, it still just feels like, wow, I just feel like for the type of effort that I'm putting in, which I always try to be really thorough, I'm not always thorough, I'm lazy too, people, is that, what I feel I should be paid. So along with that being said, as far as the way I'm treated and the way that I'm talking, the way that I am talked to, right, depending on the situation, which everybody's been pretty kind and all of that, but I could also see, right, where these different things, whether it is like the arrogance or narcissism or control, whatever it is, right, depending on the person who is, as an employee, right, how it can make somebody feel, especially who hasn't done the work like me in terms of boundary setting and knowing what I deserve and things like that, right? And again, I'm not perfect, because even when I know what I deserve, I still have a difficult time, even speaking up. So the point of the story is, with that being said, because I've released a lot of those fears that I had, either being an introvert or, feeling controlled, or that I am controlled by a higher up, or whatever you want to call it, right? Your boss, your lead, or whatever. I am not so desperate for a job that I'm going to either put up with a certain behavior, like how they talk to me, or put up with certain stuff I feel is bullshit. And sometimes people earlier in life, they have this strong sense of self and all of that, and they do not have any problems regarding standing up for themselves, whether it's quitting a job, asking for a raise, whatever it is. But some of us, it takes us a while to learn this for themselves. It could just be even like you're trying to feed your family, so you can't just like quit or get pissed off. And like when I say you can't, like, you have to have some sort of action plan, right? Unless when you have responsibilities. So I have the freedom to be able to stand strong and do this. And plus, for me, though, I would have a backup plan. So these places, some of these, the current one where I'm subbing, right? So I can work or not work at this particular place. I could have 2 jobs if I want, doing different things, right? So how I can explain to you now is what this means is that since I know what I am worth, definitely, not just in skincare, but I've learned like the value from my efforting, what I've taught myself, why I feel I can charge what I charge even for like a facial, right? Up to $120, right? It's going to range. I mean, it can range. In the past, depending on the types of peels or things I was offering, I was able to charge $300, right? And sometimes that was a very short, almost medical treatment, like something within 10 minutes. So that facial world, you can make really good money in it. So because I know all of that, right, the efforting and all the things and what I'm capable of, this is, and all my studies and all my research and everything, okay? So like even in a facial, it's not just a quick 10-minute consultation. It's because I want them to come back. I want them to like, there's certain things that I look for, right? And like what I feel makes me a great esthetician for myself. What I would be looking for, like I said, the years, the experience, and different things like that. So this is how I know that I can explain, or I guess this is how I'm able to explain to you, is that I just know the level of work that I've put into my job, my jobs, whatever I'm doing, to feel like I'm qualified or that I am deserving of charging what I feel like I should deserve, what I deserve. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say in this episode, is that I'm willing to compromise on certain levels, but I'm not willing to compromise my soul, my morals, my ethics, honesty, and all of that. And there is a sense of freedom that comes with that. So I wanted to explain it to you like that in the job atmosphere, but the same thing can happen within relationships. And that is, again, feeling the strength to leave them if needed, right? I never tell anybody that shared like relationships problems. The cultural thing has always been like, well, you need to leave them and you need to do this and that. I don't feel like we're really helping each other when we're doing that in a way, because the person has to learn in their own way, right? So I'm going to help coach you. Go. I'm going to help coach you kind of like what to do. And if you feel like it's something that you need to leave or separate, separate doesn't mean it's just the end. Like that's it. Everything separated could just be like the time apart, physically separated, right? Not talking, not living together or whatever. So it's whatever works for the couple. So the point, like I said, in the worthiness, even if somebody were to tell you, oh, you deserve better, or you're not respecting yourself, or this and that, whatever it is they're saying, you may not feel it. It's kind of like somebody telling you, right, you're beautiful on the outside, right, physically you're beautiful, but you don't believe it. It's like I was like that for so long, even growing up, being like, oh, that's cool, you think that, but I don't think that, because of those deep subconscious things in me that was always comparing myself to the mainstream blonde white girl, and thinking that's just what everybody likes. That's what everybody thinks is beautiful. And I don't look like that. Okay. So those are some deep seated things from the media that is so false. And I wish I had known that there were different types of beauties out there, but I didn't, because rural Pennsylvania was not full of different types. Even if you moved to the city, if you moved to the city, there would have been diversity, but I didn't see that very often. Not like I was going to Baltimore all the time. So that was our closest, like, inner big city, or whatever you call it, metropolis. And so I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm saying that I'm ending it. Let's see. It's really loud. I hope you all can hear this. Otherwise, I will be re-recording this. So sorry about that. So that's what I wanted to explain here, that I feel like I have a good grip on basically explaining, is that what this means is I've done different things to like create myself, if that makes sense, whether it's personality, okay, right, or my hobbies. Definitely, it's taken a lot of practice, and I definitely need to do things more than once. So on my journey, that's what we will say, right? Equipping myself with mindset tools, reading things, learning other languages, even on a very basic level. Like, I feel that's in my toolkit or toolbox. That's what I've been doing, and that's how I can explain to you, helping build the worth to share with you now, back in this other side of the work world, and seeing, there's a lot of grunt work. I don't mind actually doing washing dishes. I think while it's my most despised thing since I was a teenager at 12 years old doing it, and will still do it at home, even though I can pawn stuff on my daughter. I can share with you all of these different things that I would say have built my worth. And the worth, I will explain also, remember, is different than self-esteem. So self-esteem is how or what you think of yourself, right? And worth is your place and purpose, right? Place and purpose in the world, and value. So it sounds like it's the same, but it's not. It's kind of confusing, but I feel like I can explain it better now. And again, I feel like people before us, maybe, of course, they've talked about this stuff, but I didn't really understand what they meant. And they definitely didn't say, okay, this is how you do it. Like, and then there's also the self-care talk, right? Taking care of oneself. And when you take care of yourself, that's a form of self-love, right? Admiring and loving yourself because you care, right? And so feeling value and worth, and that also came with me learning self-defense. So people, this I think was good on a very basic level without going too deep, getting too complex, because complicated is my middle name. And I've been missing, so part of my thing is getting on here and talking, even if it's the two people. This is my form of therapy. And if I'm not doing this or writing, I feel like I'm the one who suffers. And so meditating, yes, will calm me, will help still my mind temporarily, but this really helps me a lot. And I appreciate listening. And hopefully some things help. I'm documenting my journey. hopefully there is something, that you find value in it that might help you, because it's a different type of insight, different perspective. Everybody has one, just like everybody has an opinion. So thank you for listening to me today. And hopefully this was just a first run and the final run, and that it wasn't too loud. And I'll meet you in the next video. Don't forget, I'm on Spotify and Pandora. Those are only audio shows. That's when I first started. So some people don't know that I'm on there as well. And that has some kick-ass shows with my punk rock influences and some veteran stuff and just different things over there, kind of like my artsy upbringing stuff of just influences that have helped me survive and thrive in life, coming from a place of such hatred at all the injustices and different things going on in the world. Okay, so I'll meet you in the next video. Talk to you next time.